An online voters list in Dominica exposed by officials as fake. And in sport, consistency identified as a big factor in West Indies' victory in the ODI series against Afghanistan. I'm Dawn Paris, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, November 12, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Now the process is a little different and it'll surprise you, but you're gonna love the results. So let's get started. We'll start with the sauce for the filling. Place a medium saucepan over medium heat and melt in 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Stir in 3 tablespoons of flour and let that simmer for about a minute, whisking constantly. Next, whisk in 1/4 cup of water and 1 cup of sugar.
C-Trek was one of the first outfitters in Baja 35 years ago. We started running trips down there in the mid-'80s, early to mid-'80s. At that time, these were kayak expeditions, sort of old school trips where you loaded everything in the boat and off you went. Exploring coastlines, no permits, no rules, no regulations. And over time, we refined the trips.
As Dominicans prepare to go to the polls on December 6th, the Electoral Office says an online voters list making the rounds on social media is fake. Public Relations Officer at the Electoral Office, Elias Dupy, says the Electoral Office does not publish, sell, or release digital copies of the Register of Electors for any reason. And the Electoral Office says it's the only entity authorized by the Registration of Electors Act to collect, guard, and produce elector information. Dupy therefore called on the public to stop disseminating or referencing the online document as a source of information. He added that under the law, lists are created periodically and published in each polling district and are also made available at the homes of registering and assistant registering officers, the public library, and the Electoral Office. Both the incumbent Dominica Labour Party, DLP, and the opposition United Workers' Party, UWP, are contesting all 21 seats at stake in next month's general election. CARICOM communications ministers are calling for the elimination of roaming charges across the region. And the ministers with responsibility for information and communication technologies have agreed to collectively approach the region's telecommunications providers with their request. A statement issued said this is one of the priorities the ministers identified as an early benefit with respect to achieving a CARICOM single ICT space. It says the matter was discussed at a special meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development last weekend, and the meeting agreed that the elimination of the roaming charges would provide social and economic benefits to the people and to the region. Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, who has lead responsibility for science and technology in CARICOM's quasi-cabinet, said this was an issue which would give a real boost to regional integration and had the potential to drive growth and development in the community. CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque agreed with Mitchell, saying that this should be viewed as a low-hanging fruit in achieving the single ICT space, which should have been realized as soon as practically possible. Over in Trinidad and Tobago, the ruling People's National Movement, PNM, is condemning what it describes as racist statements made by the president of the Public Service Association, Watson Duke. At a press conference yesterday, Duke urged all public servants who have not yet received a pay increase since 2003 to not vote for the PNM in upcoming local government elections. The PNM has taken issue with the choice of language Duke used, among other things. Well, here's what Duke actually said.
And if you feel to yourself, our vote does not matter. If you do not speak to this issue between now and December, I'm asking all niggers, all black people like myself, and watch me good, me well black, not to support the PNM. Don't do it.
In a statement, the ruling party said the PNM and the rest of the nation were truly disgusted by Duke's latest offensive outburst, which he delivered whilst pretending to be representing public servants. It said that Duke, who is also the minority leader in the Tobago House of Assembly, had described Afro-Trinidadians in the most offensive way. But Duke is defending his choice of words. He says he's only apologizing to those who misunderstood what he meant when using the term. He added that the word is a Latin word that literally means black. The PSA president admitted the word has held a different connotation recently, but he added that he felt it was appropriate to use it yesterday based on the treatment of public servants to get his message across. Stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Wicketkeeper batsman Shea Hope believes consistency played a huge role in the regional cricket team's success in the ODI series against Afghanistan. West Indies secured a series whitewash after Hope smashed his 7th ODI ton to roll over the Afghans by 5 wickets and take the series 3-0. It's the regional side's first series win since 2014 and their first international win since 2011, and the veteran batsman lauded the team for the effort.
I just think consistency. I think we were more consistent in all 3 parts of the game. I think it was the first time in quite a while that I could say we put together a series well. I think the bowlers did pretty well throughout the series. They limited the team to good enough scores that we can chase as batters. So it's nice to see that everyone came and raised their hand in whatever game it was. The feeling was good. It's nice to see a nice, young, vibrant team running around the field, diving, stopping balls, and putting their heart up for West Indies cricket. So it's very nice to see, and hopefully the batters can continue to be consistent and win more games for the team.
Hope was also in high praise for Brandon King, Roston Chase, and captain Kyron Pollard, with whom he shared 3 vital partnerships. Hope says everyone stuck to their tasks.
I think that everyone played the role that was required to get the team over the line today. As you said, Brandon came in and looked like he belonged. So Roston continued his form in both bat and ball. And then the skipper came in and did his business at the back end. Just unfortunately he got out at that time. And Paran doing what he does best. Just unfortunately he got out at that time as well. But the key for us is that the batters make sure that we understood the situation and we played the situation for the entire series.
Left-hander Nicholas Curtin struck his 2nd half century in 3 innings as Barbados Pride rebounded from a shock defeat to CCC Marooners to crush Canada by 9 wickets in Bastille yesterday. Set a paltry 162 at Connery Cricket Centre, Pride made light work of the target to get home with 20 overs to spare. Opener Kjorn Otley finally tasted form following low returns in his previous 2 innings, top scoring with an unbeaten 70 off 84 deliveries. And that's Caribbean in 10. Join us this evening at 6:30, the Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.